Fratelli del Rugby Podcast. Fratelli del Rugby Podcast. L'Italia Rugby Podcast. Fratelli del Rugby Podcast. Fratelli del Rugby Podcast. L'Italia Rugby Podcast. Subscribe.
Qua. Oh, Mike.
I love it, man. I love it. All those memories, mate. Love it. Memories made, history made. Love it.
Memories made, history made. Welcome everyone in a new episode of Fratelli di Rugby Podcast, the Italian Rugby Podcast. And tonight we are here to dissect the history made in the Stadio Olimpico, the feelings from the stadium. We've been there, we've been in the press conference. If you have listened to the press conference by Gonzalo Quesada, Mike make a question in English. The first question in English is about Pani, Garbisi, the kicking. So we still in the victory. We thought about next
week.
game. We are in the next game. About next game, we're gonna have time this week to talk about because it's gonna be the mega rugby Saturday with all the games there. But Mike, finally we are here again after spending a couple of days because we've been in L'Aquila too with Lucio and we watched the Italy 15 playing against Chile, the national team of Chile. So fantastic weekend of rugby, Mike. I ended up going in my team, in my old team in Fiumicino, spending there the day with a lot of kids. So what a weekend. Mike, let's start from the game that make us more happy, probably, right? The history of the week. So let's go straight into the Olimpico, and then we're gonna speak a little bit about this under 20 Zebre. I don't know how you wanna call it, Italy 15 front row of Benetton, but we're gonna talk a little bit later because we are too excited to. So we have to speak loud about this game.
Yeah,
Forza Menoncello, Forza Italia, DDR, Daniele De Rossi, DDR.
Yeah, I had my brother-in-law message me saying that he needs to be knighted. Menoncello they need to give him a knighthood.
Cavaliere del Lavoro, Mike.
That's
yes,
it.
Cavaliere del Lavoro, workhorse.
Yeah, mate, he's a workhorse. Mate, listen, like we were together. So many like emotions. I think it's quite cathartic for a lot of the people there. We hear about people, shedding tears, people crying, and then you got to remember actually that out of the journalists, we're some of the youngest ones there. So a lot of the old boys there, old girls there that are journalists, like they've been watching Italian rugby for the last sort of like 30, 40 years. And yeah, it was just overwhelming sort of emotion, so much passion coming from the crowd as well. And man, it was just pandemonium. Like afterwards was pandemonium. I've had a lot of people ask me what it was like, and that's the only word I can think of. It was just so good to be around that.
It was so good, and also there was that the other side of the game, something that not everybody seen, but thanks to social media, they saw the moment when Quesada and Lamaro came into the press conference, and it was so natural just to clap, to be happy about it.
Yeah. I bet that was new to them as well. That was insane. And Quesada, obviously, almost he's so humble. The fact that he just naturally goes and was like puts his hand up and then just almost directs the applause to Lamaro. And like I love their relationship. You can see that they've got good humor and the banter between the two, which is really important. So man, like we've almost started from the end, but I think we need to probably start from the beginning. And
the game.
What were your thoughts on the start of the game, mate? What, a bit nervy? Obviously we were a bit nervy, but how were you feeling about it?
Well, we were not that precise. We were a little bit too much under pressure with the kicking game that at the beginning started to work for England and then was completely the opposite, like kind of karma, Mike. Because if you think, for example, the first kick where they put a lot of pressure on Alessandro Garbisi in the air, just outside in the same spot where Marcus Smith at the end. Get that ball lost, the penalties, those two situations, and the other situation where they found a little bit of let's say too much space, a couple of tackles we missed, then we covered, but then they found a little bit of mojo momentum in attack, and it worked for them. We were a little bit too much like fragile in a couple of situations. We were understanding still how the scrum was going to be referred because that was also a theme during this week as the time for the line out because we were punished really badly, in my opinion. When then you see the other situations where a lot of time went away, but the game was still there, Mike. First 20 minutes, the game was still there for both teams. And let's see also the chat in the meantime. Okay, okay. Yes. Okay, no. Something new. Thanks, D-Mac. But Mike, so the first 20 minutes was like that, a little bit not fully growing the game. Italy, England was taking a little bit of confidence. But in all of this, we were defending really well because we were covering and everything. For me, that was the situation. Maybe more accuracy in the way we were putting pressure on them with box kick and stuff. But then I think we found a way in the first 20 minutes of the game to stay there. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, man. I like listen. It was one of those where they were knocking at the door, right? They were knocking at the door, like you said. A lot of it self-inflicted. It wasn't perfect. There was a lot of let's be honest, like a lot of inconsistencies on our side. How we wanted to try and attack, and I think actually the only thing you can do when you've put yourself under that sort of pressure in England are starting to grow in the game and, like you said, get change from that kicking contest and try and sort of really put pressure on us is to make sure that you are meticulous in other areas. So defensively, that 5 meter line out. I know Squidge already highlighted it with it going over the 15 and Lamaro obviously being able to go offside because there was no offside line. And disrupt, and then Zambonin reacting first, and that is the stuff that takes it. It takes zero skill, but it takes a lot of intelligence. Like that was the first time I've seen really quick, natural, instinctive rugby intelligence from our team, and that's just one example of so many examples in the first 20 minutes that kept us 0-0 when there was a lot of pressure. Obviously, you and I were laughing when we saw the first 10 minutes where I think it was something silly like 7% territory.
4%.
Right. And you and I laughed, but then both of us looked at each other and said, the most important thing is, and we looked at the time and then we pointed at the score line. Doesn't matter how much possession, doesn't matter how much territory, because the boys were putting their body on the line. And at the end of the day, in the first 10 minutes, the first 20 minutes, it was 0-0. Perfect.
Exactly. And what they're saying, the guys, JD, Benedu, I mean, they are completely. I'm gonna try. Actually, you know what? Let me put it in the. Let me show it on the stream on the side, so guys, you can see it too. Now we're gonna put the. Here we go. I'm gonna just move you, Mike, too, so we can put everything. Oh, look at that! I didn't know I can do this stuff. Let me see if I can do something like this. No, I will figure it out, Mike. I will figure it out. This is new for me, the transparent one. So I have to do it like that. Okay, so try to box kick us to that, expecting us to be the old Azzurri. This is the most important part. Is this in second phase defense, which probably is the area where we did a different click in this in our way to defense. That for me is something. Benedu on defense again. Our defense was very solid, narrow and compact. Quesada Massa bringing on Fusco to give you a taste of their own medicine. It's the karma we were mentioning before. Totally agree with that. And of course, well, we know who it is. It's a cherry and white. I can say that is the most important.
He is. Yeah, he is. I was smiling when he said we know who it is.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
and I think actually that second the second phase defense bit is really important. People say that they don't quite understand what England were trying to do. England thought that they could beat us in an unstructured game, right? They wanted transition. They wanted us to force handling errors and give them sort of easy possession, but also like possession with some insurance in case they throw it out wide and make a mistake. And like you said, Otto, it was working in the first half. They just couldn't capitalize. And then exactly like everyone else has just said, we started doing the same and it worked for us. So yeah, interesting.
Mike, something interesting in the first half is when we try to play different style, attacking instead of box kicking, or instead of the bone kick, play on the blind side. We try a couple of different situations there, and also we let a lot Freeman coming in. So we try to find the space behind, and we let run a lot of times more Yuan in this game than line, probably on the wing. Like opportunity on the wings were so different, and probably this was a game where we didn't see that much of Linag like running with, but without the ball, pressuring the player, making the contact, get a penalty for us, and everything else was magnificent. But probably in the first half, Ioane was the guy that touched much more balls, and some really good situation, 50-50%, Mike. Even when he kicks the ball and he goes in the try line, stop the action in the moment where you get the ball. Freeman, look the feet where they are and when they land after. Also, that is interesting to see. But
yeah, and I mean, let's be honest, I called that at the time as well, didn't I? I was going mad at the time.
You
because
and Ioane called it.
Yeah, like it was to me, it was quite obvious that he took it over and it should have been a 5-minute scrum. But anyway, we move. So little things that I think you've hit the nail on the head on, which was really interesting, is Liner. He did so much work without the ball, defensively, offensively, and predominantly defensively, but offensively in terms of making himself available and opening up space for other people as well. I am so happy for Liner, considering he was sat rotting away, waiting for an opportunity from Eddie Jones, and he's proved to everyone what he can do and who he is and how much more of a better player. And frankly, I do think he's a much better player than he was at Quins and when he was at England. Now he's at Benetton, and now he's found some mojo with Italy. But yeah, you're right. Ioane was he was just on fire, wasn't he? Like that kick, the confidence will come obviously to the second half and like his contributions there. But he was he was good. He was trying to put on hits and stuff. And listen, he was playing high risk, high reward rugby, and sometimes it came off.
He also tried to close a couple of gaps in defense quickly. So he's getting better on a lot of situations. One thing that I really liked from him was the in attack in the corner when he just pushed his arm out, and I don't know how he got that offload. He was completely outside behind the player, ball there on I think on Cannone. One stain in the first half, Mike, can be the decision in the 40 minutes when there was the opportunity just to, okay, let's breathe. 40 plus 40-23, but we attack with Lorenzo Cannone that then unlucky, good defense, knock on, and then touch on the eye, but was already off because we thought was an eye tackle from the
which it was
situation. Lose the ball before. That's the point. So there was that first, and
so foul play supersedes it, mate. That's the way it works. Like
anyway, the decision itself.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you know we always think, oh, that decision cost us so much.
No.
Was a moment probably to go straight in the locker room and breathe.
Yeah, I think as well, like had that been in R22, that's exactly what we would have done. But we saw an attacking platform and we saw an opportunity, and like you said, execution, sometimes rubber the green. And one thing I'll say is the boys, they fought with a sword, but they were going to die on their sword. Like that.
Absolutely. Yeah, they were committed, fully percent
And
committed.
that's one thing that we do not see that often. We see nerves, people being tentative, not fully committing. And the boys were committing to scoring tries, which is something that you and I said right at the start. So in the preview. So yeah, I'm really happy with that.
I'm really happy with that because guys, go look. I posted today, like 1 hour ago, what Mike said during the last podcast in the preview to win this game, and that also is pretty spot on. Now I highlighted this because it's important to think about how much engine we put in the second half, the changes, how they switch, and everybody's saying the same in the chat because it was so true. Garbisi Jr. was also hard to play for him, I think, because the English defense, as Benedu set up, was pretty good. They were pressuring, but they were also slowing a lot the ruck, and that was hard for us to find that those three phases that we need to have an hard runner to find the space, the gap between forwards, smashing the forwards, even if they were in the middle, and scoring a try, which is the try with Meroncello. One of the few situations where Garbisi had a player calling kind of a line really flat on the run, really quick. So probably good and bad from Garbisi. Let's see what's gonna happen in the next game too, because that is gonna be interesting too.
Yeah, I mean, like people forget. Yes, that was it his best day? No. Was it our best day as a team? No. We could be a lot better. And I think some people thought I was trying to stick and twist the knife slightly, like with regards to what I was saying. But no, like if you look that back, and I've watched the game back twice, plus us watching it live the first time, there was lots of situations where we made mistakes, right? And even after the game, if you listen to Lamaro in the post-match conference that we were in his post-match interview, even in the huddle, he said it wasn't perfect. The boys know that wasn't a great game from them, but the one thing that they did right was when it counted, they made the most of those opportunities. So yeah, I 100% agree. Like Garbisi with that lovely like weighted delayed ball to Menoncello to let him through, drawing the attention of Underhill and
Yeah, first and second defenders, they were with him because he was
lovely, right? That was that, and that's the thing, right? So yes, maybe he didn't have his best day like passing, but when it counted, he made it. He made an impact, So yeah, it's going to be fascinating to see sort of what the selection looks like. Obviously, we'll come probably at the end. I'm guessing just talking about some of the changes made in terms of like who's been called up and stuff, and some of the injuries. But yeah, like Fusco came on, like you said, and the quality of that box kick. Like we were looking at the height and the amount of time it took, like that hang time. If you talk to anyone about American football, right? Anyone who talks about American football, yes, they like distance and stuff, but the thing that they're most interested about is hang time. And if you watched like the difference, like just count it in seconds, like the ball was staying up for at least a second longer, and boys who are running as fast as Ioane, boys who are running as fast as Liner, Pani, like that second is close to 10 meters, right? So that makes a massive difference in terms of how we can compete with the ball. So I thought everything was sort of perfect into that point.
No, so tactically we won, but also we were much more into the game because if we think about all the situation, and I'm gonna highlight another couple of comments here from Paolo. How costly was the England decision to take 3 points with a penalty 5 meters out in second half? We are on the ropes at the stage. That was a chance for momentum, or even when they were speaking so loud in the Finn Smith, who said that? Finn
Yeah.
Smith with Itoje, not the best. Even the captain taking a yellow card like that, Mike, is not a great.
Yeah, and that was directly afterwards as well. That's one thing. So
That's
I don't know.
shocking.
I don't know if you noticed, right? Nikodera and Genge were having a moment, right? And then immediately Nikodera gets the yellow card. They have that conversation with Genge again, right? So it was with Finn Smith, but it was with Genge joking, saying, "Oh, I'm just going to tap and go," and then Itoje lost his mind, right? It happens again after that. So both had a, let's say, a hot-headed moment, right? And it leveled the playing field. But it was because of how niggly the game was, how much pressure the boys were on, how difficult it was, how attritional it was, and how much emphasis they put on the breakdown and how physical the game was. Like, it was just one of those where, like, England had bodies littered all over the place all game. So it wasn't an easy game for them. And then you add the added pressure where they think they should be 2-3 tries ahead.
Mike,
You
that was
put them in
just
that position.
another nutritious game of rugby.
Just another attritional game, mate. Just attritional game of rugby. Like, I don't know what you're on about. There weren't bodies littered the entire game. Jamie George didn't spend 15 minutes on the floor getting taped up. No, attritional game, mate.
Everything normal under the sky of Rome looked like. We have to be better also in that situation, like pushing a little bit more the ref when a player stay there and I cannot play a quick ball, because you see also Garbisi frustration in any situation. We have to be better in that too.
Yeah, for sure. Like, listen, the dark arts, we've said it for years, like, we need to be better, and like taking a knee, slowing the ball down. We wanted a quick tempo game. Quesada said it after the game, just for everyone who didn't hear it. He said we wanted a high momentum game because we knew that we would be fitter than England. That's what his interpretation pre-match was going to be of how the game was going to be played. And very similar to how South Africa did it against England in the World Cup final, where they were, taking these and like smart, high IQ rugby game management. England did that to us. It just so happened that it wasn't enough for them.
It wasn't enough. It was the game where we had to manage also the situation with the scrum, as we said. Sometimes it seems like the elbow was of the opposite the opposite on player going on the ground. The space, there was all this issue about gap. That was, of course, all the analysis before the game to try to push it in a certain way.
That was a narrative. Like, that was a narrative.
Another word it was.
Yeah. That was 100% narrative. It's interesting as well because, like, it's clear to me how reliant they were on the scrum, like, as in they wanted scrum dominance because they knew that they were going to kick aerial a lot and they wanted that front football, right? So they wanted to put it into the ref's ear early doors. That's why they had vice captain Ellis Genge, vice captain George, captain Itoje, all just chirping at the ref about the scrum, every opportunity that they could. And that is brilliant. Like, that is brilliant. We should be doing more of that. Let's make Nikodera a captain again. Let's make, jokes aside, right? Like, the ref was very clear. He didn't want any other player talking to him. He just wanted to speak to the captain, right? And that's why with Finn Smith and all of that jazz, he said, "No, I'm waiting for the captain to speak." Right? We should do that. We should do that. We should build the narrative. We should build that rhetoric,
especially with debutant referees, Like, it's like another narrative for Italy. Let's put the new guy in. Is it the second this year at the end with Holly Davidson and? But we move positively. Situation in the second half, Mike. We keep trying to dig around, try to stay close to them, and then we believed more. What do you think? How it happened? Everything. It was tactical. It was the power from the bench. It was the believing from the bench, and the way they move. They shift some situation that let us change. It was only Menoncello. It was Garbisi's pass. It was
no. It was the team. It was the team for sure. It was everyone. Like Rutsa came on and under pressure, immediately takes the ball beautifully. Like for me, I think the difference was leadership. The difference was brotherhood, the fraternity. Like the difference was the boys were willing to die out there to win that game. Which I didn't really sense from England. They weren't really competing at lineouts. They were like they just felt a little bit lost. Maybe
The
Etojo
last
going
line
off.
out, Mike. You don't jump in the last line out.
Yeah, straight to the
Shall
front
we
as
put
well.
it back? We won't, but guys, I mean, that's crazy.
For me, I think, Otto, that's the difference. The difference is finally in the last 5 years where we were lost lambs when it came to, trying to find a way to win because we didn't have it. We've become resilient. Like, these boys are tough. These boys, to quote Odiase, have been forced to eat shit. So now they've got a chip on their shoulder, and now we're in situations where we've been there before and we understand how to win these games and how we feel and how important it is to make sure that we're holding each other accountable, but we're also helping each other out when we need to. And I don't think I think the fractures from, to quote what the boys were saying, from that 3-point decision, that showed all game. People like sort of arguing with one another, and it's fractious on their side. So I think that's probably the difference, to answer your question.
Also, all these they need. When Quesada spoke in the press conference, post-match press conference in Italian, the part in Italian. So, guys, if you missed it, he said also that there were a couple of too much wars going on in the locker room, in the air. There was not the best attitude between all the players. Probably there was a little bit of frustration how it ended up. Probably not for I think a teammate. I guess, I hope, but more for the situation, like the frustration in general, because we were there and then they scored. These guys, the English scored, so probably was much further, and then it's like it reflects on the other players. But he was always so good with, of course, the rest of the staff to build positively of that energy, all this frustration for a good second half. Man of the match, Mike. What do you think it was? If you have to pick one that you say, you know what, or if there is a player that you think this was the game, which is probably what I was going to say, a player that with this game, the level
elevated themselves.
Yes.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? Like, because obviously, man of the match quite clearly is the guy that scored the try out of nothing and put up the assist. But I think if we're going old school, what we used to do with the unsung hero, I think the unsung hero for me, again, I always gravitate to Cannone. Like, Niccolò Cannone was just he's just consistent, test level, puts his body on the line, plays heart on his sleeve. Like, he's everything that personifies like Italian so well. Like, it's just such a
bello de casa, such a bello de casa.
Right. He's just, so for me, if we're talking unsung hero, he has been consistently brilliant. The bench, like I said, Ruta came on and just like almost perfect. Like, the only one thing I'll say was the line break that he always ends up doing, and
the season, Mike.
Always he does his line. He breaks the line so often, and he just always goes for these stupid offloads. Like, it just annoys the hell out of me. Just do a simple tip, like just trust Yuan is going to break the tackle and you can recycle.
It's so elegant to see the way Ruzza, guys. If you rewatch the game, put slow motion when the Ruzza get the ball, how quick the delivery down, how smooth is that delivery. Is something more. Here we go. Ruzza, immense from the bench.
Yeah. Lamaro as well.
Lamaro. Maybe the kind of. Maybe it's not the dream. Maybe the positive around, because he was talking about this. The dream. Maybe the dream is gonna be next year. Maybe in 2 years. The dream. But
maybe
this was one of the part of the dream, I guess, because
Stepping stones, Otto.
stepping stone, a gem.
Like he said, he's putting a brick down, so brick by brick, like he said in the pre-match, right?
So there's that. Menoncello for me is the player that with this
Has to
game,
be.
the way he did, but not man of the match. I don't think about that. But this is the game that can be okay. Menoncello is Menoncello. Man, I was happy for the pass, not for the smash of the player. I was
Although the smash was satisfying as hell, bro.
Daily, but it's kind of, it happened.
Yeah.
Daily is daily on defense. In attack, come on, under pressure, a couple of good kicks, chip kicks, and everything. But my God, Menoncello, this is the game, and it seems like so ready for France. Sadly for Treviso, it's so ready for France.
Yeah, man. Let's see how much better he can get. As long as, knocking on wood, right, like he stays fit and they look after him, I'm buzzing for him. It's going to be great to see him play with the likes of Dupont and Ramos. Man, it's going to be an interesting Entomac. It's going to be interesting, eh?
Going here because despite the knock-on, but in general, Cannone is the player that is really building, like cementando la sua identità di top player. Like this game is the game where you can say he's building to be in the top because he just play Mike. He doesn't do anything else. Let's say something crazy, something odd. He just play rugby, which is majority of our players do in the field, but you can be even better. Talking a little bit more. We have a balanced back row. Giuliani is a true 7, allow Lamar to do what is best in defense and the graft in the tide. This allow Cannoni to ball carry and be the talisman. Are we going like this for the future, Mike? Is this gonna be this for?
No, I'm not going to let you. I'm not going to let you bait me into it. I know what you're doing, mate.
But in general,
So
is it something that? So thinking in general, this balance. Did we have this balance before? Even 2 years ago, with Vincent is more too because it's similar. Can be also 7-8 together.
I think Lamaro's proved, like, beyond reasonable, like, comprehension why he's important. Like the way he talks, the calming effect, like the fact that he has all of this experience. Like, he is necessary to be on the pitch, right? If he is fit, he's necessary. But then there's other players like Seba that, like I said, Seba's not going to break the line like Vincent or Cannone, but he is willing to run 100 times a game.
+3 defenders
Right.
taken every carry.
Yeah, right. He'll make space for the others to run into. So as much as the balance, I agree, the balance seems amazing, right? Like it's not and stroke of genius again for the big man Quesada. Like, Gonzo's been great with how Lamaro is now performing, and maybe that's because he sees a little bit of himself in there. Like I said, they've got a great rapport, but there is space for other players. Like, not necessarily to start, but there's players that will slot in. So, like Vincent for Cannone, for example, if there's an injury. Injuries happen, right? And again, knocking on wood, it never does, but there is opportunity.
It's something, Mike. It's something we have to take in consideration. A lot of people that doesn't follow after the Six Nations or before the Six Nations Internet Rugby doesn't understand a lot of stuff. So, guys, keep following the teams, the Zebra, the Benetton, because it's so fascinating the way, even through all this, because you think Zebra are not winning championship, Benetton not winning a Challenge Cup yet, but the team is able to put together this performance in a situation where we have the same number of rugby player than people that throw with tiro con l'arco in Italia, Mike. So something really funny to compare this. Then you have England, numbers, culture and everything. We are in a soccer culture team, and then you have all this.
Yeah.
Fantastico, Mike.
Yeah, I think that's sort of becoming our strength though as well, like how close it is. One thing I think Casada's done really well is he's found a way of getting the best out of the players. Like everyone in the chat, like I was just looking, when they brought up full score, for example, like his kicking's always probably been his strength, but like Quesada, instead of knowing that maybe his passing isn't brilliant and maybe occasionally his game management isn't great, he's like, you know what, just focus on what you're good at and make it a superpower. And like that's what he's found. And Garbisi, like, he's given him time. He's finding a way of giving Garbisi time and make the right decisions. He's finding, the raw aggression from Cannone, and like he's making it good utilization. He knows that Tommy, if he gets his timing right, he's going to break tackles, and they're trying to utilize it. So one thing for us is, yes, you're right, we don't have the culture, we don't have the numbers of England, we don't even have the funding. I think they have 4 times the amount of funding we have, right? We don't have the participation levels, but what we do have is consistency, is the fact that the boys are willing to work harder than the opposite man. And unfortunately, mate, you can't coach that.
You cannot coach the anger that some of those players had, because they were not that team, right? That probably was one of the first things Lamar always said. We are not them. Talking about the previous team,
right?
Previous Italy. We are not them, and we don't have those players in the team. Few players can talk about this. Monty, maybe is one. Tommy Allen for sure is one of them. Brex. Negri, Ruzza, Ferrari, the one that start with Oshie, let's say. Those players are the one that know how different. And then with the Franco Smith era going forward was totally another world. Because, come on, another life, another sensation. Let me see here. Oh, interesting. Do you think it's going to be... not bad. Who is in the contest for this, Mike? Who do you think?
I think LBB, just because of like
Darcy
the fact
Graham.
that he just doesn't stop scoring. Right, Carl Stein is definitely going to be up there. He's been brilliant,
but they lost against us, Mike. we can play the card, but they lost against Italy, right?
Yeah, that there's that. Was it the rugby guy with his with the maths saying that we're now the best team? Yeah, no, I think Carl Stein's been sensational, right? Like I said, LBB will be there just because he's so consistently scoring. You could have probably, Menoncello is going to be in the conversation for sure. And then I think Rhys Kerr will probably be Rhys Kerr, whatever's however you pronounce it. He'll probably be in the conversation as well for that lovely try.
Luis Bielbarré, Kyle Stein. Let me see. Based on that little part of me felt that England underestimated us a bit. They see some of our squad knowing they've beaten them before a few times. Breeds complacency. Yes.
I agree and I disagree, Justin, to be honest. I'll say why. So I think they thought they had a right to play how they played, right? And that's the complacency. But I think they were genuinely really concerned about what they saw. Like, I have never seen the English public, and that permeates through the, what's discussed in the media, right, from the players, that nervous. So clearly there was quite a lot of weight going on. And that's, as much as people are like, oh, it's, the media that, perpetuates that and forces that. I think it permeated directly from the camp. And we saw, right, and I don't want to throw stones here, we saw in the post-match how uncomfortable Borthwick was. He was sweating bullets, right?
Guys, unbelievable. And
sweating bullets, like it was just...
Mike, the way the questions were made, like, so are you going to... do you think you're still able to be in charge of the team? Something like that.
Are you still able to take them where they need to go? Like, these were the questions that... But even before they asked that, Otto, he was already like... That's not nerves because of the result. That's nerves for a long period of time, and he just knew that was coming. So, I think there's probably a few bits there.
Let's see. Let's go on this, because this is also talking about press conference. One of your questions in a certain way. Because
Yeah.
we were talking about Garbisi, but we don't have right kickers in the team, Paolo. So that is the thing, because the other boot was Pani and Mike. What you asked to Quesada? What was the question?
So,
Yes, because it
so
was funny that moment too. To be honest.
yeah, no, it was. So basically, I think everyone was asking this question. You know, we know Pani's superpower is his boot, and I was just thinking, you know, on occasion, particularly if it's like a defensive 22, like, you know, maybe if it's an offensive one, let Garbisi kick it, but if it's a defensive one, just let Pani use that monster boot to kick it. And I said, obviously, we've seen him at Zebra for seasons doing it.
That's
And
plus 10 meters, Mike.
yeah, on
Honestly,
average, right. And Quesada said, I'll go get Paolo, and you can tell him this. You can try and take the ball off him. And what he meant was, listen, like, Paolo wants to be that guy, right? Is what he said. He wants to be, you know,
the 10, Mike, we should say.
the 10.
If
right?
somebody play rugby knows the 10 wants to do everything, the 10
Yeah.
wants to do everything, Paolo wants to do everything.
Right, yeah. And and listen, like I said, it wasn't a jab, and I want to really explain this, right? It wasn't a jab. Garbisi is a fantastic, like, he is one of the best 10s we've ever had, or if not one of the best 10 we have ever had, right? There's probably discussions between him and
For
Tommy.
game one, for sure, Mike. At least for that.
Right. So I'm not throwing stones anywhere. What I'm saying is, in certain situations, having Marin kick with a right foot or using Pani's big left foot in some defensive situations, for me, it makes sense. And that's all I'll say there. So, Paolo, you know, we've spoken to you in person. We love you.
Nothing
To
against you. No, but it's interesting because one situation was that nice mall we carry, we drive for quite a lot, but then we ended up being pushed outside, and we are saying with maybe those meters more, that was a try, maybe. We
For sure.
were able to arrive there. That's why we are thinking why we are not using it, because even before the game, to be honest, Mike, we were saying long kick, Pani, we saw how good is kicking play.
Warm up. Yeah.
But in kicking play as he did, but he also has the kick to the line out. But okay, let's see. Maybe it's gonna surprise us next week with Pani, and it's gonna be something else. But
you said he was in transition, right? Otto? Like,
yeah, it's a process.
It's a process. Yeah.
Which makes totally sense. Let's see what we can do next week because probably we need another one.
But Otto, one thing actually, just before we move, you made a really important point there, which was that kick to the touch instead of taking 3. So that was, I think it was the Underhill yellow card, right? Where we could have taken the 3 and I think we would have gone to 19. It was 16-18, but we went for the corner instead because they had 2 players off. And I think Garbisi gets it either just inside or just outside the 22. I can't remember. But you're absolutely right. We mauled that like 10 meters more, maybe even more.
And it was a good one.
Yeah. So like you said, Otto, like 5 meters more. And
maybe you are inside, maybe you keep
it. Right, yeah.
But let's see. Also, but no, I'm still thinking, like, come on, a couple of situations with the lineup. The last one from them was really bad. Let's see. It was from the Itoje yellow.
Thank you. Sorry, you're right. You're absolutely right, Benny.
Big call. Garbisi is the best 10 I've seen him going back as far as Bettarello.
I believe it. I struggle to see. I mean, Tommy is the argument for me. Like, I know how much people romanticize Dominguez, but for me, it's between those two, at least, like, just in modern game, you know. Mike,
I don't think we have to say anything else about this game. Probably we should move quickly to the under 20, not to Italy. Let's move to Italy 15 against Chile because we were there. We saw a couple of good players moving on around. We play with a 15, which is a 10, but let's be honest, it's more a 15 for me than a 10.
Yeah.
Brisighella, moment of magic in the game. Scalabrini did a really good job on the wing. Cerdulor is a new Italian player, the Rosario born, if I'm right, from Viadana. We saw Botturi. What do you think about this game? We saw Turrisi.
Man, I think Brunello's stamping his way. Like, he had 4 days to prepare that team, and you can see that there's synergy with these players, right? It's one of those where boys have been playing with him for ages, and they're developing skill sets, maybe in different teams. But like, when they come together, he just finds a way to make them win, even if it's the old-fashioned grunt way. And some of the boys there are really coming along. Gallerini's been
Another
brilliant.
good game from the front row.
Gasperini,
Everything, yeah.
Brilliant. Destiny, brilliant. There's so, like, the players are coming through, and these are the players that are going to replace maybe some of our players in the not too distant future. So for those of you guys who don't know who we're talking about, and these aren't names that you've heard of, just go and watch Gallerini under 20 and just acclimatize yourself to this man. Have a look at Gasperini now. He's played a couple for Benetton this year. Just get to know them.
And also like and subscribe, because we speak every week about these players. So don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the button to activate the campanellina. Okay,
Helps
so
us
we're gonna
massively.
remember when we are around. 1 second, let's answer this question because it's always something. Last penalty, Mike. Let's go back 1 second to the penalty.
Yeah.
Should I start? Do you want me to?
I mean, you feel free. I've got my own views, so I want to see if they align. Go on.
Yes, a lot on the side. But yes, we take what the ref says every time on this podcast, so we're good with that.
Yeah. Listen, I 100% agree. I see both sides, but one thing that you can't see is you can't take someone and croc roll them with the neck. Like, so in at the side, not in at the side. Foul play supersedes that. Penalty Italy, full stop. Right? I don't care. that's my view on it. Penalty, not penalty. You can't go and croc roll someone. And if you look at Luke Cowan-Dickey, he was croc rolling. So go and have a look if you guys a neck roll. Sorry, if you don't if you don't believe me.
Yeah, Tom Malik Faisal is the player. He's a Zebre player. Seems to be seems he's gonna sign for Northampton Saints. He's the young guy from Parma too. He played in Milano. He's in the Zebre roster. Maybe we're gonna see more for him this season with Zebre, but for sure this summer during the Junior Rugby World Cup. So.
Otto, for you guys who haven't listened, Otto has called this guy out since his under 18s. Like, he's been saying how good this player could be for years. So just keep an eye out for him.
About the front row, I think, Cacolo, this is going to happen next year with Pivats, and we're going to know more about this guy. I mean, this guy, the way he coach and how we're going to try to develop more and more player. I've seen people saying that the rack was ended and there was not a rack. Man, people want to see whatever they want. If it's good for them, okay, they're gonna see it. If it's against and nobody whistle,
guys, you can go back at every single ruck and find an infringement. Who cares? Like, who genuinely cares? Like I said, like, there's so many occasions where we don't get the rub of the green. Now it's time for other people to swallow that pill, because we've been the ones that have never gotten those decisions. So, like I said, not in at the side, not in the side. It doesn't matter. You can't neck roll someone. So
I will add something on this, Mike. We were that team that some situation, if we were losing 45-7, we were saying that the ref was bad, or at least the fan back in the day.
Yeah.
They spent so much time talking about the ref from the sofa that
we're not that team anymore.
Come on, it's crazy. So
yeah, you're right.
That's the situation around this. But Mike, we go to My God, we go to buonanotte. We go to the Millennium in Cardiff.
Yeah, Principality.
Principality, how you think is gonna be the team right now? Do you think there's gonna be some changes, or we're gonna stick with them?
Yeah, I think it's important to talk about like the force changes. So unfortunately,
We've been
we
the same. That's
thank
probably
you. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. It's hitting that on the head. There's some force changes. So just for context, Ferrari unfortunately has been sent back to club. It doesn't seem like it's something ridiculously serious, but we wish him a speedy recovery. He's been sensational. It's been his best tournament by a country mile. So there's that, and Riccioni's obviously been called up instead. So
and he's
yeah,
been invited Canali, Mike, in all of this.
channels.
Yeah, Mr. Channels from Mariccia, La Porchetta is back. Not La Porchetta because he looks so good. So he's there around. Guys, you have to know that thanks to Lucio, when we went to Lagos, we went to go good arrosticini, liver stuff, sheep, pecora. Cioè,
My first time, it was banging. It was so good, so good.
pallotte e caciaiova. Come on, guys. We were really traditional in what we eat. So thank you, Lucio.
Yeah, thank you,
Stay
man.
with us to let us visit the city, the town, the village, actually the castles that put all together, right?
Yeah, yeah. The architecture, mate, it's a beautiful city actually. Like in terms of beautiful town. Like I said, it's the most beautiful town. Obviously, Rome's probably the most beautiful city I've seen in Italy. But as far as town goes, like it's not a bad one to go and visit. But yeah, listen, it's Lucia was brilliant. And the 15s, like let's just quickly touch again on the 15s game.
Montenegro, as you said, it was crazy good when he switched the
Crazy.
game, like putting 3 kicks.
Yeah.
Pop, pop, pop.
And they were on all the time. Like, so either that was something said to him or we're seeing his rugby IQ and his vision. That would be brilliant. So for me, I think, one thing we've learned is Brunello can get people organized very quickly. They were preparing for 2 weeks in Italy for this game. 2 weeks. We had 4 days. We had 1 training session. So fair play.
Okay. Mike, shall we start Asa? Ozilok is starter. Attrition is coming only for the week to.
Depends on how Spagnolo does. I know he's been called in, but he limped off. So Hasa might be playing loose head, right?
Well, that is the opportunity because we are always with Asa that can move around, and we miss the other player that can move around the rack. So waiting for the new ones to come. Let's see if Momo is gonna be the player. But yes, he looked good. In general, the scrum is living at a good moment between future and what they have right now, despite penalties about gap. Anyway, let's skip. Let's see how long it's gonna be. I was gonna push this, but nothing more, Mike. Let's see this week how will go the week for the national team, and then we can speak a little bit more this week. Let's ask this. Come on, this because we were surprised. I was honestly surprised to see Alessandro Carpisi starting because finally after 3 weeks Varney was back. So I said, okay, he's back. Good. He play in England. He knows the English players really well. So
yeah.
But instead, what do you think, Mike?
I know Gonzalo's like really keen on match day fitness, and again, I think he learned something slightly, or he's taking lessons learned from maybe rushing Capuozzo back slightly to make sure that Varney's 100%, because as we know, like Varney is the best distributing 9 that we have, and we found that to be a bit of a problem in my opinion the last couple of games. So it's going to be really interesting to see if he starts. Hopefully we see him because he's going to add a couple of milliseconds to the attack, which is sometimes all you need,
Absolutely. Mike, they've been released also the fixture for the Six Nation 2027, and we will play the 13th of February. So St. Valentine's weekend in Rome against Ireland. In the second week, and then we're gonna play the 6th of March against France and the 13th of March against Wales. So 2 trips at least, Mike. People is gonna be hard for to go to 2 consecutive if you come from outside. But guys, pick wise. Maybe Rome, the 6th of March, would be interesting to visit next year. Who knows, right?
Right. To be fair, we're 2 of 2, by the way, guys. And I was jokingly saying like, if the Federation wants to hire us, right, to go to games,
we are ready. We are also 2 on 2 on Chile, Mike. I cannot believe I watched Chile twice in my life. I never thought I was going to watch the national team of Chile in Italy twice.
Love that. Yeah, I think you know what I'm interested in seeing, Otto. First of all, hopefully you're coming to the England game next year. That'd be quite cool. But secondly, I think what would be really interesting to see is how we build in the summer. So I know we've got one last big game.
Wow.
Right. We've got one last big game. And obviously we're really excited about it. We're really excited to break it down. We're really excited to discuss about it. But even after that, we've got a lot of content to talk about the summer and this Nations Cup and what we think we can do. So follow us if you're interested. That's something that we're going to talk about. And man, I'm excited about that as well. There's so much cool stuff coming for us.
A lot of stuff. History is being made against England. And guys, don't forget to subscribe, as I said, and let us know also in the comments. The comments after the live always help the algorithm to be there. You can also hype our videos, so feel free to do it if you like Italian rugby, English contents about Italian rugby. Mike, that's it for today. Lovely to speak on a sweet Tuesday night after writing something different. A W after so many L against England. Oh, Benedu. Okay, so if you have a chance, there should be some jersey exposition from Il Museo del Rugby. Check on the Il Museo del Rugby on Instagram. So probably gonna be really cool stuff too. And if you're not there, if you cannot go to Artena, this is a really good opportunity because it's something. I mean, Corrado, Il Museo del Rugby has jersey, probably one of the most important jersey for England, for sure, and for the story of the Barbarians, we should say, but probably also for Wales, because really heavy jerseys down there. I think that one is going to be there, but let's see. FFV.
On the last one, yeah, listen, this doesn't happen if you subscribe and have the little bell notification.
The bell notification.
Yeah.
I know today we also put the 1 hour after, but we were in. We fix it, guys. I scheduled it during the press conference. This live, I said I'm in Italy. I don't have to switch it on my Bulgarian time line, and it's not. Now I know, Mike. Now I know.
No. Hey, listen, lessons learned for us, but lessons learned for you guys is like, subscribe, and notifications on
like, subscribe and notification. I have to do it. Next time I'm going to put like our fingers like this, Mike.
Yeah.
I'm going to create something with ChatGPT, something like our...
Nice.
Don't forget. Okay, guys, I'm going to let everyone... putting again the last play of the game, and thank you a lot to be with us. Thank you, Tom, and everyone else. Sorry, but I have to say, ciao, Justin, because people in Gloucester, Lazio, you know.
Yeah, you've got a new best friend.
My Glomans, should I say, Gloucester romance, right? Ok, ciao a tutti ragazzi, ci vediamo alla prossima. Mike, buonanotte, see you next.
Ciao.
Ciao.